The Kid LAROI details mental health journey in new documentary. Not easy for me to go there. Like many of his peers, the Kid LAROI decided to tell his story in a documentary. But his decision wasn't just about recounting his whirlwind rise to international fame, Grammy nominations and No.1 singles. Instead, he wanted his narrative to be for those who have supported him throughout the journey, to show them that they aren't alone. Releasing on Thursday, LAROI's Prime Video doc Kids Are Growing Up, a story about a kid named Laroi, directed by Michael D. Ratner, does indeed detail the 20-year-old star's success story. But within it, he gets much deeper about the things that make him human. As LAROI tells people ahead of the film's release, after cheekily joking that the whole thing is all lies, his mission was to show fans that he's got more in common with them than they might think. The goal of the documentary, my take on it, was I just want to hopefully inspire people who might like my stuff and show people who watch me and support what I do, let them know that they're not alone if they're dealing with stuff, LAROI says. I know sometimes things can look a certain way from a social media perspective where people can imagine that everything's perfect in our lives or whatever, and I just want to show people that they're not alone. We're all dealing with, not the same problems, but we're dealing with the same stuff that goes on up here, he says. In the film, LAROI gets candid about his own experiences with mental health and hardships that he's faced along the way, particularly a difficult night when he had thoughts of suicide. That night, he shares in the doc, brought him closer to therapy. The moment in the film detailing his past mental health struggles, which LAROI explained were amplified by fame, is a bit of a tough watch for him now. It's a tough thing to talk about, he says. I'm kind of a bit awkward as it is when I talk about stuff, and then talking about something like that is obviously, it's not easy for me to go there. But the reason I did keep it in was because, if anything comes out of an experience like that, if I'm able to share it and maybe help some people or inspire some people, that's what it's about more than me looking back and just being like, I would rather be able to help if I can. As for how therapy has benefited him, LAROI reveals that having somebody to just be completely raw and honest with without judgment has ultimately been beneficial in his day-to-day life. Naturally, as humans have fried feelings or fried thoughts, and we're all works in progress. No one's perfect, he explains. So being able to voice that without being judged is really cool. I got blessed with having a really good person, someone who's really wise and listens. That's not everybody's experience, but once you find the right person and the right fit for you, it's a life changer, for sure. Beyond LAROI's journey with mental health, Kids Are Growing Up also details the Australian musician's friendships with Stay collaborator Justin Bieber and his late mentor Juice WRLD, a past romantic relationship, the moment when he purchased his first home, and what he's learned from his family over the years. The movie, which also offers fans some behind-the-scenes glimpses of LAROI's first world tour, Video Music Awards performance, and more, is a product of OBB Pictures and Amazon MGM Studios. At one point in the documentary, LAROI shares some lessons that he's taken away from his father, Nick Howard, a producer and engineer who found mainstream pop stardom in the 90 seconds. Howard, who years later was recognized for his past successes while working at a gas station, would tell his son that fame wasn't forever, per the doc. I think that's really cool that I get to have that to see and understand that things could all just be done by tomorrow, and it's time to focus on what really matters, LAROI says. That's the biggest takeaway, focusing on the things that really matter while we have them, he adds. And not being focused on something that can very easily be taken away or just not there anymore. LAROI also spends a portion of the doc describing his relationship with his younger brother, Austin Howard, a music producer who, in November, landed credits on his Big Brother's debut album the first time. As the Grammy nominee describes it, their creative bond is something that brings us together. It's been cool that we can do that, he says. I'm just really proud of him. It's crazy to watch him. I'm a very honest person, especially when it comes to people in my family. I would tell him if I felt like he sucked, but he doesn't. He's incredible. It's so cool to see him passionate about something. Kids Are Growing Up, a story about a kid named Laroi is available now via Prime Video. If you or someone you know is considering suicide, please contact the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988. Text strength to the crisis text line at 741,741 or go to 988lifeline.org.